Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen, and this is No More Watch Fire. Next time, I appreciate you tuning in. I have an interesting subject. There's elections going on all over the country today, and many people went out and voted in record numbers around the country, and shows how dissatisfied they are with this government. Now, there's one race in particular that I've noticed. It's the Virginia's governor race. I know, to those people in Virginia, you have a new governor, Spanberger, the white woman that Barack Obama endorsed. And the reason I say that, many people were upset because they say Obama wanted people to endorse Kamala Harris, but he didn't endorse the black woman. First of all, Obama is a Democrat. Harris is a Democrat. So who do you think he was going to endorse? They said, well, he should just stayed out of. He don't have to stay out of. You know why? Because this woman is a MAGA-nite. She's a MAGA Republican. The black woman is a MAGA Republican. Right now, we're at war. We cannot endorse any black person. This woman has talked against black interests, even have made fun of black people in speeches. Now, all of a sudden, black people are supposed to vote for her. And the reason I'm saying that, I'm just talking about her. I'm talking about any black candidate. Right now, we're at war. Trump has made the parties like they're just two different entities at war with each other. He's even said that he hates Democrats. There used to be a time a person would cross the party lines, depending on the candidate. That's out the window now. I completely agree with what Obama did. And I'm not just going to vote for a person just because they're black and they're voting against my interests. How often have we said that about white people? How they vote against their interests just to vote white. Now we're expected to do the same thing. No, I'm not. I wouldn't do it. You have to use some rational thinking and stop thinking emotionally. Now, I'm going to show you this video real quick about this guy because he communicated with me. And I'm going to tell you about what we talked about after I just play the video. Let me put my headphones on so I can hear what's going on. What do I do with those headphones? 'Cause I can't hear it without the headphones. And he got upset with me. Wait a minute. I'm not on my audio. Yeah, he said some stuff. He got upset with me. And I gave him a reply, of course. But listen to this.
If you needed any more proof that politics is all performance, I just want to remind you guys that in November, Obama lectured black men on going to vote for Kamala because she's a black woman that grew up like us. And then on Saturday, he went and campaigned for a white woman running for the lieutenant governor or running for governor of Virginia over an actual black woman after lecturing us that we need to vote for a black woman in November. It's all performance. All that empowering people of color shit that they push is all performance.
He actually believed it. Because you know what? Black people cannot vote against our interests just because a black person is running. Kamala Harris was more in line with black people's interests. Most black people are Democrats. So why would he endorse this Republican? Let me take these off. I'm hearing myself, my feedback. Why would he endorse this Republican woman because she's black over the wishes of his people and his party? See this type of thinking he's doing. I can see why some of those guys voted for Trump. The kind of thinking they're doing is kind of foolish thinking that Trump does. All that emotional thinking, not thinking things through. They expect Obama. What if Obama had endorsed that MAGA woman over the black woman? He would ruin himself. We always expect black people to ruin themselves just to back up what we want them to do. And most black people would not have wanted him to back that black MAGA woman. Comparing that woman because she's black and Kamala Harris black, and yeah, she is black. Y'all need to leave that silly stuff behind. You vote for these white candidates and don't worry about if they're black or not. Why you feel like a black person had to be all black, can't be mixed. But the white person, you don't worry about their color. Why come with black people race only comes up when there's a black candidate? If they're black or not. You don't worry about if the white candidate is white or not, you vote for them. But look, why would he endorse her over Kamala Harris? When Kamala Harris is in his party and represents the views of the majority of black people. See, black people be wanting you to commit suicide for them. Well, I can't say black people because most black people are not on that MAGA side. And the reason I say that guy you just spoke, he texted me. I let him know. I told him that why would she vote for just what I just said. Well, why would he? She was a MAGA night. Why would and she doesn't represent black people's interests? Kamala Harris did. He wrote. He texted me back saying something about who are you to tell me my interests and what did he say? Let me look that up. I don't have time, but he said, "Who are you to tell me my interests?" And somewhere he put in who to vote for and all of that. Now, let me look that up. What he just said that, because he sent that to me. I want to say it exactly right.
Did you know that African Americans are the only ethnic group in America who lost?
Let me get that off. Let me see here. Kind of hard to find this stuff. Oh well. He said in a way he got all emotional with and said about somebody to tell him what his interest is. And let him know when you just did the same thing. Don't get upset because you know someone disagree because you can't take disagreement. Then I asked him because I also said in my statement I said, but if Herschel Walker was a was running against a white man, would you have voted for him? And he takes me back and said, yeah, I would have voted for Herschel Walker. And I said, yeah, I believe you would have. See, what you have to realize is that, and people like that, I stopped talking to them because I tell you why. When you're talking about a subject, ideology, or something that you can present facts on, yeah, the person comes to you instead of them talking on that, they come to you talking personally. That's because they don't have any facts. And see, when you talk about yourself personally, you don't have to come with facts. You can just come with emotion. I've been doing this too long, and I can read people and what they're coming with. I can tell when a person don't even have any facts to bring because they start all that personal, emotional stuff, talking about themselves. Now, how am I going to argue with somebody about themselves? Or debate, not argue, but debate someone about themselves and how they want to personally feel. I can't tell someone how to personally feel, but I can tell you about facts, and you can deal with it how you want to. So that's why they bring you that emotion when they don't have any facts, because they don't want to give it up and say you're right, and just talk emotional all night if you allow them to. I say what I have to say. If I give a reply, I get that one reply and leave them alone. Especially if they come with some facts, I keep debating facts with them, but I don't debate emotions. It's a lost cause. You got to go on all night and get nowhere. Yeah, and see, we have to think about that. It's times are different, and besides, how many black Republicans that black people overwhelmingly voted for, that or that other black people that most black Democrats endorse? None I know of. You don't see white Democrats endorsing Republicans, but yet we expect black Democrats to do it. They don't endorse white Republicans. It's been very, very rare. But yet we expect black people to do all this stuff. See, what you have to realize is that people expect us to mess up. You see what Trump's doing to mess this country up? Just about ruined it as a superpower, ruined its currency, jobs, everything. They expected this from the black man. We knew it wasn't going to happen because every time black people get in these positions, they do a great job. Except for somebody like this MAGA night in Virginia, because she's going to espouse Trump's policy. He wants to move into National Guards and troops into Virginia. If she had won, he'd have an open border then. But see, we have to stop and think. We just can't vote for vote for black people have never done that. I told you last night about how hard Washington ran for mayor of Chicago. He won. He was the first black mayor of Chicago. He ran before then, but the black people didn't vote for him. They didn't feel that he was the best candidate. They voted for this white woman named Jane Byrne. I know because I was living at the time when he was elected in. Okay. Um, Here in St. Louis, a, a, a white woman won the mayorship over the black woman. What's her name? I can't think. Tashara Jones. And I think she was an excellent mayor. Because black people usually do a good job when we're elected to office. In most things, because we can't come there half stepping. We don't come because of legacy and because of who my father was, and who my uncle was. We can't come like that. We got to bring it, and we usually do. Now in St. Louis, they just don't. The black folks there just won't get out and vote. That's what their problem is. Because Tashara Jones had no business losing that election. She's Vervis Jones' daughter. But look, but back to what I was speaking on. I'm not gonna vote for just any black person. I'm not voting for a black Republican because we don't have a Republican Party anymore. We have a MAGA party. That's what the Republican is now. It's the party of Trump, MAGA. And if you vote for a Republican, that's who you're voting for to further Trump's agendas. Yeah, so that's so you black people keep crying about Trump, Obama. Because see, if you notice, most of the black people are saying that it's people who just don't like Obama anyway. You got a lot of black people. You notice when a black person comes up through the system and prospers through the system, black people want to corner them as a sellout. We say black people should do this, but when they do it, you're angry at them for doing it. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you who's a sellout. Those who selling drugs in your community, who you adore. Those are the sellouts. The criminals causing trouble in your community. Those are the sellouts. But you embrace them. I know because I see the mugshots. I see mugshots of interracial people up, and you can tell they're interracial, but you don't hear black folks saying they're not black. You embrace those criminals, but you won't embrace a president, vice president, or presidential candidate who's of mixed race. You embrace who you want to embrace. You embrace Minister Louis Farrakhan. His father was white. W.B. Du Bois was mixed race. Frederick Douglass, Malcolm X, they were all mixed race. Now, back to what I was talking about. I'm gonna play this other one for you. This is at
So,
this is at
with
her.
that, I am thrilled to introduce you all to someone I am honored and grateful and humbled to have supporting me in this campaign. Someone who represents the very best of public service. Someone who is ready to help Virginia send a message on Tuesday. Virginia, are you fired up? Virginia, are you ready to go? So please, will you join me in welcoming back to Norfolk the 44th President of the United States of America, President Barack Obama.
And that's what they were angry about. Because he endorsed her. I don't blame him for doing it. But she was a former CIA agent. So what? We are not in any shape to be, for any of us, to be endorsing any type of Trump candidate, any type of MAGA person. That wouldn't have even made sense. But to an irrational, emotional thinking person, it makes sense. You know, I'm beginning to think that a lot of people just like this Trump drama, even people who didn't vote for him. Because normally, with the normal president, you tell the truth, you didn't watch the news and all as much as you did with other presidents. But with Trump, you was about turning, even myself, see what he's done this time. And I think some people just like the drama of him being in office. They don't want things to be normal. Nobody's going to elect some MAGA woman because she's black in office and see what she might do. She's already said what she was do. She hasn't been very kind towards black people. Most black conservatives and Republicans don't speak very well of black people. And I wouldn't be in a party. They show you there's no difference in the Democrats and Republicans. Then why come every time a black person is in the Republican Party, they have to just about disavow black people and speak against black people? The Democrats don't have to do that. You say there's no difference? Do you think if you had elected Kamala, you wouldn't be getting your food stamps would have got cut off? 300,000, over 300,000 black women would have lost their jobs. Do you think if you had voted for Kamala, there would be troops in the streets, people coming raiding buildings, just throwing people in the back of vans? She actually warned you that that was going to happen. So you say there's no difference in Democrat and Republican? All of that wouldn't have happened had you voted Democrat back in November. Now many other people who voted for him are crying. Too late now. You've caused the damage. Some of those in all those No Kings protests, they was involved in all this. So that's why I had this up. That's why I put that up as my should black people vote for all black candidates? Hell no, we ain't gonna vote for all of them. At least I know I'm not. See, would it be okay for if a black person harm us, it's just as long as they're not white? That don't make sense, do it? Like I said, all this time, black people have always said how white people vote against their interests just not to vote for a black person. They they will vote a white person in who they know is inferior to the black person just because they're white. Who they're voting against their own interests to not vote for the black person. Because if white people wanted to vote their interests, they would vote for Kamala Harris, and they would, and their health care wouldn't be up in the air because they don't. You should see the videos now that they make. They don't even know that the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare are the same thing. They're voting against their own health insurance because they've been told that it's Obamacare. Don't vote against Obamacare. See, when Barack Obama passed the Affordable Care Act, I mean, when it was passed, he started it, but the Congress passed it. The Republicans automatically coined it and gave it I guess a couple calling it a slur, Obamacare. So they knew that if they called it, if the name Obamacare was put out there, many white people was going to be against it, especially Republicans, and they are, and they're voting against their own health care because they don't know that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are one and the same. And when they find out, you have to see how shocked they are. Some of them really still don't even believe it. That would be like a person saying, I like marijuana, but I don't like that weed. I'm not saying any of y'all smoke because I don't. It's just a comparison I'm making to show you, an illustration. When you know both are the same, that weed is just a slang name for marijuana. I'm saying this for those who may not understood what I said previous to this. So I'm making it plain and simple. Just like weed and marijuana are the same, weed is just a slang name for marijuana. Obamacare is a slang name for the Affordable Care Act. But most of the MAGA people don't even understand that. And who want to put a person in office who's going to keep helping back up Trump's agenda, no matter what color she is? This is war. This nation is at war, one side against the other. And we can't do things like it used to be. But when you look at how it used to be, how it never was. You never seen a, a, a president who's a Democrat ain't gonna go and endorse a Republican because she's black. Like I said, they say, well, he should have stayed out. No, he don't. Because we're in a different time now. Just like Colin Powell. He was a Republican admiral. He was once chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff. He endorsed Obama, but he had retired and he wasn't a politician. Just like many people have voted across the aisle. But I don't see that happening anymore because you just have to choose a side now, and that's what Obama did. He chose a side, his side, and the side where we're not gonna see the Democrats is always expected to play fair, and they've been doing. That's why they've been getting their clock cleaned. Now is not the time to play fair. And if that black woman want to side with Trump and MAGA, toss her on over there to them and forget her. I wouldn't care what. She could be black as midnight. I wouldn't have voted for her if I was in Virginia. No way. And that goes for a MAGA anywhere. If Democrats don't have to endorse or vote for MAGA people, Herschel Walker, if he had been running, if sure not who he ran against, was a white man, I'd have voted for that white man if I was in Georgia. I wouldn't have voted for him. This old idiot I just played video I just played. He take me and say, yeah, he would have voted for Herschel Walker. I told him, say, yeah, I'm sure you would. Some people like that. Do you know that a lot of the people I know who voted for Trump, the black folks, it seems like it's a game to them. They don't come with any facts. It seems like this Trump thing is a big game to them. Like they think they're watching one of these Tubi movies or something. And Trump is a kingpin or something. They don't even talk in reality. Yeah. Let me play this video from Obama again so I can take a quick break. I'll be right back.
So, with that, I am thrilled to introduce you all to someone I am honored and grateful and humbled to have supporting me in this campaign, someone who represents the very best of public service, someone who is ready to help Virginia send a message on Tuesday. Virginia, are you fired up? Virginia, are you ready to go? So please, will you join me in welcoming back to Norfolk the 44th President of the United States of America, President Barack Obama.
Okay, thanks for staying with me. The white woman in Virginia, she won, which I wanted to see because even though I don't live down there, she would have been another MAGA supporter, someone who would support Trump and help his agenda. And we don't need that. And we don't need that at all. So, yeah, it's good that we can get another Democrat in there. Watch this again.
If you needed any more proof that politics is all performance, I just want to remind you guys that in November, Obama lectured black men on going to vote for Kamala because she's a black woman that grew up like us. And then on Saturday, he went and campaigned for a white woman running for the lieutenant governor or running for governor of Virginia over an actual black woman after lecturing us that we need to vote for a black woman in November. It's all performance. All that empowering people of color shit that they push is all performance.
Notice how they keep saying actual black woman. And though Kamala Harris is not a black woman, they need to get up off that childish stuff. And that's childish. Very childish. They never bring up who's black or not unless it's a black person of stature, president, vice president, candidate. And then you never hear black folks talking that. They embrace anyone with a black parent, they embrace them as black. Unless they're a person of stature who rose up through the system You got these mixed drug dealers. Do you worry about if they black or not? These these are crooks on mug shots. Do you worry about if they're black or not? I told you who are not black. When who don't have two black parents. Most of the black people who have fought the black cause, who you adore, who have mixed race. And when you know how it is in this world, if you're of mixed race, you consider black. If your parent is black, ask the black Chinese over there in China. They're not considered Chinese; they're considered black. But they're not considered one of them because see, you can be Chinese. You know why? China is a nationality, not a race. If you move to Japan, you Japanese. That's a nationality, not a race. If you're in a nation, you're part of that nation. You called by that nation. Just by 2 years ago, they said that many of the Germans was upset because black people over there were being called Germans. If they're citizens of the German nation, they are Germans. But you see, um, when it comes to like I said, only when it comes to people's statue, that their race is called into question. Don't you think black people would be happy to have a person who's doing something? It's been a part of your race instead of people who are not. Like I said, Malcolm X was mixed race. W.D.B. Du Bois, W.B.E. Du Bois, Frederick Douglass, Minister Louis Farrakhan. You don't hear anyone calling them into question because you pick and choose according to who you like and don't like. And see, you'd be surprised at the black people who don't like Obama because he achieved through the system. And I've been noticing that a long time. Many black people don't like a black person who achieves through the system. They have more respect for a drug dealer than they do a black man who became president and achieved through the system. That's some sick thinking. Let this say. That's some sick thinking. You embrace a drug dealer, a criminal, more than you will a black man who, because he came up through the system and managed through the system. You should be happy he was able to do that. But at the same time, you don't mind black women who came up in the system. You embrace them for it. And the black man does, he has to be a sellout. Or except if it's Kamala Harris. Cause I know what a lot of black men are upset about. It was said that she sent a record number of black men to prison when she was the prosecutor in California. But it didn't say she sent a record number of innocent black men to prison. She sent you where you need to be if you weren't innocent. But it also don't tell you that it also tell they don't tell you that she also got a record number of black men out of prison. She set up a program to get black men, but not just black men, but men out of prison, but mostly black men benefited from it. But if she's a prosecutor and they got a case against you, she can't say, I'm not going to prosecute you because you're black. We really want black folks to get in trouble for us. Obama going to ruin everything himself and everything he stood for. Say, I'm going to endorse this black woman, this black Republican MAGA woman because she's black. They don't even make sense. But it do to the people who want it to make sense. If you're the type who just don't like Obama and want it to make sense, it makes sense to you. It make perfect good sense to you if you're an Obama hater. I know a lot of people when Obama was president, they told all kind of lies against him. He went and got rights for homosexuals and then for black people. First of all, black people rights was already on the books. Now, I mean, it being endorsed or not, that's a different thing, but it's already on the books, so what could he do? And he didn't fight for homosexual rights. You know what happened? They asked Obama, do you approve of homosexual marriage? I know y'all say gay, but I say homosexual. Do you approve of homosexual marriages? He said, well, I think marriage should be between a man and a woman. But I can't tell somebody else who to love. Which is was a good answer for a president. See, but then people put it off there, oh, Obama, he's for homosexuals getting married enough. If that was the case, why did they have to ratify it state by state and then bring it to Congress? If the president had signed an order for it, it would not have to go through the states. It would have just been law. He could have signed an executive order for it, but he didn't. If you want to blame someone, blame Congress. They're the one who wrote the bill and put it into law. And then, once it was ratified by each state, they signed the bill and put it into law. They brought it to Obama, and he signed it. But he didn't make the law. What was? Tell the truth. If you was a president, I know Trump would do this, but everybody not stupid like him. But if a normal president, if you came to him and said, "Do you think homosexuals have rights?" What do you think he's gonna say? No. Of course, he's not gonna say that. I wouldn't say it. I don't have no business. I ain't got nothing to do with what them folks do. I don't want to see them not be able to work and all that stuff, but just they keep that stuff to themselves. They're not bothering you with it. They don't bother me with it. They can do whatever they want to do. That's their lifestyle, not mine. But the thing is, I say that to say many people just didn't. Many black people were just against Obama anyway. And those are the ones who's talking. Oh, they love this. I mean, if you listen to them, the stuff they're saying don't even make sense. I played videos last night about people talking about how he endorsed a white woman, and they didn't make any sense. They've self-destructed in their own video and don't even realize it because they're coming with an emotional thing. Facts will always trump emotion, except to other emotional people. Have you ever been in a place where two people are in a discussion, one all emotional, talking all out? Many people think because a person is loud, emotional, and can out talk a person, and they were right, when actually they were wrong about everything. That's why I do not get involved in debates and conversations with emotional people. It's a waste of time. You'll be dealing with them all night long and get nowhere. So my hat's off to President Obama, and I'm happy the Democratic woman and who's a Democrat in Virginia won. And the New Jersey race is very close. It may have been called by now, but I haven't seen it yet. And they're turning out in record numbers in California to start gerrymandering those districts, which Democrats should have been doing all the time. They know the Republicans have been gerrymandering. Should have been doing that all the time. And like they were making all their moves on the chessboard, and you just not making yours. Years behind them, playing catch up. And so, so that's why I say we can't just endorse any black person. We'd be doing like we said the other folks did. They just endorse any white person. But we know better than that. We don't have to do it because they do, because we know better than that. And they've been doing it for 400 years. I doubt if they learn any better in numbers. But we always knew better. It's almost like saying if you down in a hole trying to get out, and you only want the black hand to get you out. You're gonna let any hand that reach down there to pull you out to get you out. That reminds me, if you remember seeing the Rich, the second generation, when one of Alex Haley's relatives, his grandfather was white, and he was lying, and he was a doctor. He was lying in the street, and when his grandson tried to help him, they let the man die rather than let that black man touch him. See, we don't think that foolish. We're not going to let ourselves destruct just to have say we chose a black woman over a white woman. I'm going to tell you why. Why don't you do that in real life? You choose white people over black people every day in real life. You choose to treat them better. You choose to take orders from them better. You think highly of them in real life. Now all of a sudden, when it comes to politics, oh, we got to vote for the black woman. Well, why don't you be for the black people in your everyday life? Why come you can't go to the black folks stores? Black folks store got to close down because you rather go to the Korean, you go to the Asians and excuse me, the Indians and people of color stores rather than go to the black people store. I remember when these black people first started in this time when white people started heading out, black people was getting those stores that white people used to have, and many of the black people stopped going to the store when the black person got it. What's all your black loyalty then? We're not loyal in everyday life. But when it comes to politics and somebody else, you want to see loyalty. Let's start being loyal to each other all the time. Like if here's another situation. When one of these Asians or Arabs physically harm a black person in this store, we want to picket, boycott, just to get them to apologize. We should have been having them arrested. Now you know good and well, if there was a black business owner, you and your people would have went up in there, did a number on him, and tore his store up. Just about run that man or woman out of business. But when it comes to these people, you get strategic. You got to picket and boycott so they can apologize. Don't apologize. You should tear that store up and run them out of town. They shouldn't be able to sell nothing else in the black area if they physically harm the black person, just like you would have did the black person. Where's our race loyalty then? So we only race loyal on certain things. Now, Obama's supposed to be race loyal and help a MAGA Republican get in because she's black and the Democrat is white. When you know you're not race loyal in your everyday life. You never been. There's always time for the other person too. The only time black people stick together as a race is when we're physically attacked. And except for in law enforcement, because tell the truth, do you think if black policemen they always had white men or women on the ground beating them, the white people are always just standing around recording with their phones about that ain't right. They know it's not right. No, they wouldn't stand for it. But we do. Wars to raise loyalty then. You're not raised loyal yourself, but you want everyone else to be. I take my hat off to Obama. I think he did the right thing. And if you and after the facts I gave you, if you still think I'm wrong, then I don't know what else to say to you. Because all I can talk is facts. I don't get off and tired or emotional stuff about who's black or not. Cause we don't worry about these white folks. We've been voting for white folks all these time. We don't worry about them being black. Race don't even come up when you vote for them. So you rather vote for a white person than you would a half black person? Because you don't bring that white person race up. So what was your race loyalty then? What was your race loyalty with Kamala Harris? And you talking about she's not black. I tell you one thing, white folks saw her as black. They may have said something just to appeal to black people about her race, but down inside, to them, she's black. And I think it's stupid to keep bringing that kind of stuff up. And it is. Now, the reason I say it's stupid is because where's it getting you? You don't do it to other people. You don't say, well, I'm not voting for that white man because he's not black. That white woman, she's not black. You vote for them like it's nothing. You only have a problem when a black candidate is running. That's the only time we have these problems. They got to be perfect, or you won't vote for them. You didn't worry about that when you went in and voted for that white man over what you call a half black woman. You didn't mind doing that, but you want to hold everyone else to task. Yeah, what if she was half black? That should have been enough. You tell me you so raised loyal. Trump wasn't half black, but many of you voted for him. Oh, she's not black, but he wasn't either. She was more closer to it than him, and she is black. Because in this world, so that's your just emotional assumption. In this world, if one of your parents is black, you're black. Because that's the way you're going to be treated. That's just how you're going to be treated. There's black people over in all these nations. They let them soldiers live black babies over in Vietnam, China, and they're treated like trash over there. Matter of fact, the black people are treated worse in nations ran by people of color than they are in the European nations. And so they are so whoever you think is not black, the people who run it see them as black, and that's what matters. And see, if a policeman was to stop Obama, they're not gonna see a half black man. They're gonna see a black man. Because you wouldn't even know Obama was mixed race if didn't anyone tell you. Or Kamala. I've seen people with two black parents as lighter than Kamala. And so have you, and you know it. But when you were to turn down a person who have achieved, it almost seems like it's an envious, jealous thing. Like I said, many of the people you all adore are of mixed race. But I don't hear you saying they're not black. A lot of people didn't know that Minister Louis Farrakhan's father is white. And he's from, I think, is Trinidad? Malcolm X's father. Now I can say I don't know which parent, but Malcolm X is of mixed race. That's why he had the red hair. See, he dyed his hair black. His hair was red because they used to call him Detroit Red. Frederick Douglass, mixed race. But you don't talk about him not being black. You call him black. W.D. Du Bois. Many of the black people who black people adore has a parent, and one parent of another race, Angela Davis. But yet, You don't say that about them, but let them want them run for office. You bring it up then. When have you ever heard people say Minister Louis Farrakhan's not black? And you won't hear it. And you shouldn't hear it. Just like you shouldn't hear it about Obama and Kamala. Do everything you do to tear down a black person when they get up in position, except the ones who need to be like this MAGA night down in Virginia, who people wanted Obama to support, and she worked against black people all the time. She talked against black people. She and her policies is against black people. She was the lieutenant governor. All through her campaign, it was anti-black. Up until the time Obama endorsed a white woman, now all of a sudden she remembers she was black. And many of you fell for it. But like I said, I know the one who's speaking against Obama. They're MAGA people. And you'd be surprised how many black women are MAGAites for Trump. See, because what you have to realize, black men voted for Kamala around 80%, which is a high number. Black women voted for Kamala 90%, which is a high number. But yet, when you look at the number of black female voters compared to black male voters, when you look at the sheer numbers, the black men only voted more in percentage, but in sheer numbers, more black women voted for Trump. So that really kind of levels it out. When you look at the sheer numbers compared to the percentage, I mean, 2 in every black man voted for Trump, 1 in every black woman. But when you look at the sheer numbers, many more black women voted for Trump than men. Because I would say they would say the people for Trump, like all I would see was black women. Because I thought they said mostly men said they're gonna vote for Trump. And the people I know that vote for Trump, they talk so silly. You can only carry on a conversation with them. They're delusional. You have to be delusional to know a person, the things they're doing going to harm your people as a whole. And you're for that? Because if he harms your people as a whole, it's going to harm you too. You and your family are not exempt because you're MAGA. White people finding that out. Their food stamps are cut and they find out. See, they're telling the truth about the numbers now. There's not as many black people on welfare as you thought are getting food stamps. See, another thing we have to realize also, everyone who gets food stamps is not on welfare. Most people on food stamps work. They just don't make enough money because this is a nation they found out since the internet and people been traveling. Other people are living much better than we are here. And they don't have to work as hard. People here have to work two jobs just to pay bills. 2 jobs just to be broke. 2 jobs just to work from both paycheck to both paycheck. In other countries, they don't work as many hours and they don't pay half as much as we do. You check, like you can go over to Africa, Ghana, Ethiopia, somewhere. Let's say you get Social Security here in the United States. With those American dollars, well, I don't know, with Trump, the dollar may have been weakened by now, though. People will go over there and live like kings and queens. That's why many retired people from the United States will go down to Mexico to live. Because their dollar went so far down there. They lived good and much better than they could have here. But they got you thinking that life is so great here. Richest nation in the history of the world. But what good is that if most of its people are not benefiting from it? Best healthcare system in the world. best healthcare system in the world. But what good is that if you can't access it? It's the richest nation in the world for the stock market. That's what they're gauging things by. But you some guy, a woman, you some person just working a regular job. What does stock market mean to you? That's for the rich folks to worry about. Best healthcare system, and you can't get treated. You got people left to die because they can't afford to pay for certain treatment. But you call that the best healthcare system. The best of anything is what people can access. People have said how they went over to other countries. That's it. They're treated well. Didn't have to pay a dime because their health care was free. But you know why? They found out why many people are against health care? Because they don't want black people to get it. And I knew one day racism was going to destroy this nation. And it just about has now. And it's on its way. This nation is not going to be the same. It's not going to be the superpower that it used to be. If it still is a superpower. No one trusts the United States anymore. You fumbled this nation like you fumbled everything else. Put some black folks in charge of this stuff. Maybe they can help get you out of it. Elect black folks all across the board. Maybe they can help get you out of it. Because most cities, you see every city that has a black mayor, they're economically prosperous, and the crime rate goes down. See that stuff Trump talking about the crime rate going up? In every city that has a black mayor, the crime rate is going down. Baltimore has the lowest crime rate. They say they on record that they know of. St. Louis crime rate went down. We don't have a black mayor anymore, but she was the cause of it. She put the right people in place. As you know, the person that comes in, when they first come in, they're still benefiting or not benefiting off the previous person's policies. But I never seen someone crash something as fast as Trump has. He's really wrecked this nation. Atlanta, I'll give you another example of how a black mayor came in. Atlanta was another dusty southern city. It was of no importance. Largest city in Georgia, but Georgia is nothing. You know who put Atlanta and Georgia on the map? Mayor Menard Jackson, the first black mayor of Atlanta. And you know, he came in and he made sure black people got contracts. And when he was building that airport, he said if black people don't participate, just be tumbleweeds growing out there. And they criticized him because he wanted black people to help build it. And they criticized him for building the airport. It cost too much. At that time, it was $750 million. In today's dollar, it probably two or $3 billion. And you know what happened? It ended up, the airport became an international airport. It put Atlanta on the map. And you know today that the Atlanta International Airport is the busiest airport in the world, not in the nation, in the world. And you know what? They would say Menard Jackson wasn't black because he was mixed race. But see, you like him, so you're not saying he wasn't black. You need to get up off that old who's black and who's not. That's child stuff. That's something for children to do. But you got grown people doing that. Yeah, so hopefully the West Virginia race, I haven't seen it. Hopefully that person won too, the Democrat. Then the, the guy with the Muslim name, or Hindu name, whatever it is, in New York. I think he won. He won, and let me check this real quick. Trump was against him. Whoever Trump against, I'm for. Let me see here. President Trump endorsed. Let me see. Trump did everything to keep him from winning. Trying to see if he had actually won. Bear with me a minute, because I know um, New York has nothing to do with where most of you live. See, the reason I'm saying this is because Trump has made just about every election a national interest. Because right now we're playing like on a chessboard, moving uh, um, people moving pieces into place. Yeah, he won, wasn't it? Zoran Mandani. Yeah, he won the mayor's race in New York. Glad he won over that sexual pervert Comey. Not Comey. His name used to be the Andrew Cuomo, former governor, who got kicked out because of sexual perversion. But Trump backed him though, even though he's a Democrat, just because this guy. You see, his wife is a foreigner, but he wouldn't back this guy because of that. And the black people backed this guy, Mandani. They didn't back him in the primaries, but see, don't come on know that if Trump is for you, in this day and time, people are going to be against you. Because when Trump go across the aisle and endorse that Democrat over this man, Cuomo, see, that's the kind of foolishness that they wanted Obama to do. See, only somebody stupid like Trump does that sort of thing. They want Obama to be stupid like that. Obama got better sense than that. Trump stuck with the white man, who they knew wasn't going to win, and that wouldn't have been good for New York. He's too tainted, and he's got too much fraudulent stuff under his belt. He wouldn't have served the best interest. So why endorse him? They talked about this man so terrible. I'm glad he won though. He needed to win because we need win. If I wouldn't have voted, if I was in New York, I wouldn't have voted for Cuomo just for the fact that Trump endorses him. We don't need any more MAGA people in place. We need to get them all out of place. I'll vote for a Rottweiler before I vote for a MAGA person, because they're going to help Trump with his agenda, and I know that his agenda is ruining this nation. And it's a surprise. I'm still surprised that he's rating in the polls the way that he does. He should be down to single digits in approval ratings. But like I said, he's no longer a man. He's an ideology. It's almost cult-like. You see on social media when the ICE and different police is harming, hurting people, hurting children, and the people on there talking about good job, how cool they talk. Them diehard MAGA people. But you know what? It's not gonna stop there if you keep letting them keep going. It's I'm gonna tell you, you know what? This stuff is hidden just by everybody except black people. You know these white people being treated, beaten, dragged in the street, white women dragged in the streets. You seen the black women being dragged, we're staying out of that. The only way they have to come to us, we're not going to them. Why would we help people protest, the immigrants protest, the people of color protest? They say they don't want to be deported back to their nation, but they're running up and down the street with their nation's flag. We don't protest like that. Firebomb and police cars. Black people don't protest like that. You go ahead and do you and we'll do us. Because if we protest like that, there'll be very few of us left. When they went in to that police station in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, and ran the police out and burnt the place down, those weren't black people. That's when white folks had taken over Black Lives Matter. They were taking over. We appreciate it, but they didn't do things the way we did because we wouldn't have burned down no police station because we wouldn't have made it inside. There have been black bodies all over those steps. Yeah, we're lying low. We'll go and vote. We just had to play this out. We need to strategize, though. But I'm not, and when I say strategize, people always talking this unity stuff. Black people don't have to all unite. We just have to have enough people in place and intellectuals now, people in position to strategize. Our problem is our elected officials don't plot strategies. They sit around and wait. They don't set up a multi-year plan and try to find a way to get all these foreigners out of your cities and get black people back in these stores. Or make it attractive for other black people to want to move to your town. There are black people buying land to build community, their own communities. But you got these all black cities like East St. Louis, Washington Park, Chicago, and some in many other areas of the nation. Go to go to those black cities, buy land, all that open space they got, and then build your communities there. Even see if you're going to and the city officials have to work with them, give them a tax break, and let them even build a gated community if they want to. We didn't have a problem. White folks had a gated community because some of them may be of certain ethnic groups may want to come in, have their own little community. Let them in. We need some residents. Let them bring their children in. Fill the schools back up. We need to think some off the grid suggestions now. But we're not living in normal times. Yeah, we need to get our people to start living around each other. I'm not talking about just like throwing them together like in a project they did in those projects. I'm putting all those poor people together was gonna breed crime. You can't see that's one problem. We have black people too congested. We live in just a few areas in this nation. That's why when we do something, people hear about it. But the other folks do stuff they so spread out, you don't hear about it. Excuse me. But yeah, we need to back our own when they deserve backing. We just can't back our own when they don't and hurt ourselves as a people in the process. You don't back your own who's going to hurt your people like the other folks been doing. We've been criticizing them for that. They voted for people who were white or whatever color who didn't serve their interests. Many of them poured in us and didn't even know it. Now they're communicating with each other on social media and all. They find out how many of them are on food stamps and welfare. It's not so black anymore. But they had you believe in all of that. And that's why they have this anti-woke program. That's for you, not for us. They don't want you to learn about black people. So you can think black people are nothing. And you can still, they know if you don't have somebody to look down on, white folks go crazy when they don't have somebody to look down on. They'd still find some white folks to look down on if they didn't have us. Somebody say Stephen Miller said he wanted this nation to be about 100 million people all white. It's not going to be safe, but they're going to start turning on each other. Do you know that the Irish used to be the N word in Europe? They'd have to have somebody to look down on. And you know what? They just don't know what to do with us right now. We're not taking their baits, mind our own business. They had to nerve to think we don't work when they know they see us going to work all the time. Hopefully we get this clown out of here and those black women can get their jobs back. Need to give it back with back pay. Because he fired them for no other reason than the fact that they were black. So if they do get their jobs back, they're going to need some reparations to go with it. Yeah, but you know how it is in this nation, though. The word black and reparations don't go together. We're the ones who can't get it. Well, I held you long enough tonight. I'm going to get out of here. I got a lot of things to do tomorrow. I got to go to the hospital. I'm getting a colonoscopy tomorrow. I got to go finish drinking the rest of this stuff. I didn't want to drink it. While I was doing this, I had to keep getting up using the bathroom. So y'all pray for me and remember me, as I go. I know it's just a normal procedure, but at a certain age you do that to make sure to stay healthy. I don't mean anything wrong. You just want to make sure nothing isn't. So I'm gonna get out of here, but remember, we will back each other, but we just can't back one of us, even though they're against our interests. That's why I say I agree with Obama. The black woman was a Maganite, a Trumpite, who would back Trump's agenda, and the black woman was not. We need more people who say he should have backed the black woman don't know that. We need more people who are not Republican in areas because the Republicans are trying to put people in the state houses, the governor, the school boards, the city council. So why would Obama want to help them put a person in the governor's mansion in Virginia? That would be like political suicide. They'd be working against the people. But people who just don't like Obama, who are maggots themselves, they wouldn't understand that. They're too stupid to understand it. I just put it like that. They're delusional. They believe what they want to believe because each personal video I saw what person was talking against Obama, it was all emotion, not facts. And see, the thing is, with the, you notice those people, they never raise loyal until they think it's something that's going to benefit them or they want to make a point about against someone else. Don't fall for that. We have to stand for right now. Standing up for our people is also me standing up for black people and also standing up politically. Now, we got to vote against a black person to stop this MAGA mess. I say vote against them. Thank you for tuning in to No More Water Fire next time. My name is Larry Duncan Allen, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.